Welcome back. My name's Dave, and this is McCure Siding, my N-Skill layout. Today we're going to talk about how much cars should weigh, like rolling stock should weigh. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I print most of, a lot, not most, but a lot of my own rolling stock, and they're all 3D prints. And they weigh next to nothing, and I'm going to just walk you through how I add weight to, in this case, coal porters, or from a mine or a gravel pit. And in my case, it's a gravel pit. And so we're just going to walk you through this, and you can take it or leave it. But if you're printing your own, one of the biggest problems with 3D printed rolling stock is that they're very, very light. So they have a tendency to fall off the track. And I've developed my own little way of doing this, so I'll just get to it for you now. So I'm going to go. So here you can see the setup. These cars are prepared already. There's one here that's halfway prepared and one that's not prepared at all. I have a scale, and I'm going to show you what I normally do here. So now I need to go over to, where are you? 6. Yeah, 6. So this is a purchased ore carrier, ore car. And we'll turn the scale on. I'll give you the weights in ounces and in grams. I work in grams because I'm in Canada and we are metric here. So I put this car on here, and you can see here it says 28 grams. And 28 grams is, I'll just switch over. 1 ounce. Okay, 0.95. 1 ounce to 1.5, down to 0.95. So I took this, I took this, and I wrote that weight down. Then I take a printed piece of rolling stock, I put it on here, and it weighs all of 15 grams. Is that right? Oh no, that's ounces. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It weighs 0.15 of an ounce, or 5 grams. So you can see it's quite a bit lighter than the 1 ounce or 26 grams, 28 grams of a purchased one. So how do I go about this? Well, I take the car and put it on the scale. It goes back up to its weight of 5 grams. And I take fishing weights, and I drop fishing weights in to, and we're now at 20, and we've got to get to 26, 28, 26 grams. So what do I do next? Well, I've already got, what I do is I glue these in with either Mat Medium or Eileen's Tacky Glue. And once they're in place, they're like this, and they don't fall out. That was taking a chance there. I didn't know whether that was going to stay or not. So now what I do is I put the car on here, and we're at 16 grams. And what I use is gravel I got at the dollar store. Now this is, I mean, they're really, really inventive with the names. Jar of Gravel. It's one of their craft supplies, and they sell it in very fine, like this. Like this is very fine. You can see that rolls around quite nicely. And they sell it in different grades, different colors. But they don't always have it in stock, and that's typical of a dollar store, where 1 week they have it and the next week they don't. So I bought a ton of this stuff. So now what I do is I take some of that gravel and I start pouring it So I'm going to just settle this out. Okay, come on. There we are, 26 grams, which is just under an ounce. All right. So where do we go from here? Well, I'm going to take the scale out of the way, off. I have some matte medium mixed with 50% water and a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in it. I have some isopropyl alcohol, and we've got the car that we just put the gravel in. So where do we go from here? Well, quite simply, I take some isopropyl alcohol in a pipette, and I spritz it in here. The isopropyl alcohol evaporates pretty quickly, but it breaks the surface tension of whatever you're gluing together. It's how I do my ballasting on my tracks. Now I'm picking up some glue, and you can see that it's disappearing. So the matte medium will dry completely clear. All right, and I'll just stick this back in here. I'm going to slide it out of the way because we're going to use the scale again in a minute here. And same with the isopropyl alcohol. Now, wait a minute, I'm looking for my pen. The NMRA has suggested weights for cars, and I will put a link to that page. And also there is a link on that page to a calculator that will do the calculations for you to tell you how much your car should weigh. So here I'm going to go and put the car back. Oops, we'll have to turn on the scale. It has a very quick shut-off, auto shut-off feature. There we go, grams. And there we are, 29 grams. So I'm now going to go and do all of these. This one I just did earlier, if I remember right, yeah. And it is 31 grams, so it's a little bit over. But now you can do the same for other things. Like you can go to the website and do all the math and stuff, but I find it easier, since I'm no math genius, to just take a car. So here's a box car. It's 30 grams. Excuse me, 30 grams. Here's, I'm just going to pull this apart so you can see it. Here's a 3D printed box car. The bogies are on the frame. It has the undercarriage has not been painted yet. So this one was 30 grams. This one is 19. So we need basically another 10 ounces, 10 grams of added to this. And I'm going to deal with this kind of car where it's enclosed next week. We're going to talk about box cars, and we're going to talk about coil cars, because those are the two main pieces of rolling stock that Huron Central manages on the short line that goes by my house, basically. So I know that hasn't been very long. Next week's will be more complicated, considerably more complicated, and also it may be not what you want to do. Next week when I do the box cars, we will talk about other ways of doing it aside from my very complicated way of doing it, which involves making a silicone mold and creating weights, shapes that fit inside of cars like this, like the coil car comes apart. And so we want to have a weight that sits in here, and then we can permanently glue the coil car together, and it'll be the right weight for the railway. I've never even weighed one of these. See, that's already 20, so we only need 10 grams in there. So we'll definitely do all of that next week. So like I say, this is not a long video because it's not difficult. There is a product that you can buy, and it's from Deluxe Materials. I'll put a link to it. It's called Liquid Gravity, and basically it is tiny little balls. Let me see if I can. I'm just going to get a container. Where are those little one containers? There we go. Yes, here. I buy these by the truck. I buy these by the truckload, and you see that? Those are little, I assume, lead pellets or steel pellets or something, but they're tiny. And I could have easily filled each car just using this, but this is not cheap. So that's why we did fishing weights on this one. So that's it for this week. Like, comment, and subscribe. And like I say, I do this to be as cheap as possible. And maybe the outlay of buying a 3D printer should be figured into how much time I do with all of my rolling stock. But when you consider that a good model can cost at least $30 to $40 Canadian per model. I've got 20 coal cars here at $40 each. That's a lot of money, and this is going to save me money. Now you do have to buy the bogies. You do have to buy your 3D printer. You got to buy the resin. You got to buy whatever you're going to load up the. Sorry, I just spilt the little beads all over the place here. I'm going to get a vacuum afterwards and get rid of those. So, I want to thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week with another video on putting weights in your rolling stock. It will be a little bit different. I've got to figure out a cheaper and easier way to put weight inside of a inside of a box car or inside of a coil car that doesn't involve a lot of extra materials just to make little weights to go in the car. So, thank you for watching, and as always, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye for now.